everybody. How's everybody doing tonight? Or this evening or afternoon, depending on where you're watching, I guess, would determine if it's night or day. I am noticing the mic is staying open a little bit longer than it should. Maybe I'm just being special. Nope, okay, it looks good. All right. So, we have the Anet ET5, which is a CR10 type build size. I'm just going to call it that. It's 300 by 300 by 400, has a heated bed. The touch screen, I believe this one also has some sort of leveling sensor on it, or it might be a different version. I think this does have a leveling sensor. So if we look at Anet's actual website here, let me, they only have the ET5X, so we'll see which one I have. So this is their product page here, and they specifically said they would send me the ET5. So what's the ET5? Let's see here, because I went over this when they sent it to me. So it does have, they're saying it has automatic bed leveling, a 12-month warranty, filament detection, touch screen. So it looks like it's probably going to have the same type of control board that we saw in the ET4. Same kind of setup here as like the bluer type ones. Let's see here. Let me pop the chat out here so I can actually participate. All right. Let's see here. All right. So, yeah, 300 by 300 by 400, 150 millimeters a second. Or, yeah, right. That's not happening. Not even maybe. But we'll see. So, what are they? I always like to look and see what they advertise that the hot end of the bed will go up to. The funny thing is, I told them about this typo, and they still haven't fixed it. But I don't know what a 12 moth warranty is. I don't know if like they use a bunch of moths to expedite parts to you. But I've told them about this typo on their website. Let's see, dual Z rods, 300 by 300 by 400, 32-bit STM F407. So we'll see if that's the case. I am going to be pushing ahead with trying to get Marlin 2 working on the ET4 and hopefully by extension the ET5, which is this one. So I'm assuming they're going to be using similar equipment inside. So enough of me yapping about the printer. Let me actually get it. And let me just get the wave off here. There we go. Let's see here. Oh, customs value, $50. So they underdeclared that shit. ET5. So this is saying it's an ET5. Let's see here. Yeah, they're underdeclaring the shit out of this. Let's see. Ah, look at that. $50. Shame, shame, shame. Declare your shit properly. We do. That's why people pay customs charges. But the Chinese don't care. They'll falsify customs documents all day long because what's the country gonna do? All right, so let's get this camera in position here. No more Logitech autofocus bull crap. Damn it. Well, it's officially a stream. I already dropped something. All right, let's see. Let's see what we got inside the box. Underdeclared or the exact value of parts. I know stuff's cheap in China, but I don't think they can build a machine for $50. All right. Ooh, do we have a full roll of PLA? It looks like we do. Yes, we do. Look at that. We got a full roll. So I guess we'll be using that. There we go. Would you look at that? I like it. Okay, we're off to a good start. Let's see if it continues. All right, we've got a qualified certificate in the box here. Just in case you guys are wondering, it's qualified. It's packed very well. I'll give them that. We've got a... Okay. How many of you guys want to bet that this is not... I'm sorry. Are these... I guess there's no good way to find out if these are actually made. But I'm gonna press X to doubt right now. I'm just saying. I'm looking at this. This has got my attention here. Let's see if there's any Chinese misspellings on here. The only reason I'm doubting this is because I highly doubt that they would pay to import these to China just to send them with the printer. Could be wrong, but that sounds expensive. All right, so we got a spool holder. It's actually injection molded, not 3D printed. We've got a decent feeling power cable here. Okay, the question is, how does this come out? I think we got to take the gantry out. Oh, there's more. Ooh, that was close. I almost stabbed myself with that. It looks like this. I'm assuming this went over here. Usually these come wrapped in some sort of plastic like this. Oh, we got a little ruler, some tools. Oop. SD card and a reader, a spare nozzle, some bolts, and we dropped something already. Okay. Packaging is actually pretty good. Very dense foam they're using. It's definitely denser than other stuff that's been used in the past. This is very difficult to get out of here, though. All right, but we did it. We got a build sheet here, Anet brand. We also have glass on here. There's a hot end assembly. Brand name checks out for made in the USA. Whether or not it's China crap shoved in the USA box. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'd be shocked. Just because of the cost effectiveness of importing side cutters of all things. But who knows? Maybe they got a good deal. All right. That's everything out of the box. It's packed very well, I will say that. I feel like this is packed a lot better than previous machines I've gotten from them. So let's get in and take a look at the manual and get our angle adjusted here. There we go. All right. So let's take a first look at the instructions. They use like a little corner bracket. I don't know if this like fell in here or they shoved this in here to keep it in place. That's going to need to be adjusted. That's the whole gantry plate wobbling. Warranty void, and it's in parentheses. Warranty void. If seal is broken. Well, these mean fuck all in the United States, but nice try. I'll go ahead and get rid of that. They've got some little extrusion like appearance. It dresses up the extrusion. They're using this to keep it from moving. So quality made in the USA. USA. Maine made. So I want to find a I could always email them. Be like, "Hey. All right. Let's see. We got a little thing that ensures the quality of the printer. It's the qualified certificate. All right. This is just a color printout here of the setup manual. So we have a setup manual, okay, listing all the bolts and everything. And then the installation directions. So it looks like we're going to put the top upright here on. We're going to put the belt and the carriage on, make some connections for the hot end, and then put the spool holder on. So fairly straightforward. Let's see, use instructions. The printer is of DIY collection. Some parts need to be assembled by customers. Take good care of every connection parts, and we suggest you fix every connection with hot glue / silica gel. Interesting. Let's see. I'm just looking to see if there's anything other than your typical legalese. We recommend to use Anet official filament. The filament for this printer is the recommended filament for this printer is 1.75 millimeter PLA. All right. I'm just looking here. Okay, so the hot bed temp, they're saying up to 100, and the extruder up to 250. Now, I would not recommend going up to 250 because it's probably a PTFE hot end, and you can get some off-gassing there. Let's see. Just some basic information here. Auto leveling instructions. So we'll go through this. I don't know if you guys remember how rough the ET4 was with its auto leveling system. But hopefully they fixed this on this one here. All right. We have provided more than 1,000 what is that, million? Oh man, can they hire somebody to just proofread this stuff? There's a part list. Oh god, part list here. Warranty items. What is the advertised warranty on here? Doesn't say. Oh, wait. Here we go. Hang on. My bad. From the date of purchase, warranty period for the assembled machine is 1 year. For DIY machine is 6 months. Oh, it comes with lifelong free online technical support. Okay. This is interesting. Accessories, gifts, and vulnerable parts are not included in the range of the warranty. I wonder what they determine vulnerable parts are. What does that even mean? Is that like wearable parts? I don't know. All right, so tells you use 4 bolts. 4 bolts to go up through the bottom. 6 to go through the sides. That's interesting. Does it take the little covers out that are holding the bed in place and throw the carriage, the hot end carriage on? These directions are not very good. All right, so we're just gonna jump into it. Now, I'm going to assume... Oh. Okay, so these are tapped. So I guess that's a typo. There's only 4. Alright. Oh, this is a pain. They got T-nuts on the front here, too. You gotta take the tape off for the Z motors. Oh, man. I should have done this before I grabbed it. Blah, blah. Let's see. Jim Sellers, they want to replace my PSU that died. It's a POC. I'm assuming you meant piece of shit. But, yeah. Piece of crap, piece of shit. POS. Alright. I am not surprised. Anet's not exactly known for their technical support. Or warranty support. None of these companies really are. So I'm loosening up this bracket here that's got 2 T-nuts, and I just unthreaded these. Just because these are pretty much all the way threaded in, you're not going to be able to actually get the extrusion on. The reason this is a little bent. That was shipping, I'm assuming, or whoever packed it. The reason I'm loosening these up a little is so they have some play and I can tighten everything up once I get. So, you can see here. Let's get it on there. Alright. So I'm going to make sure that these T-nuts are like vertical instead of horizontal on both sides. This is going to be kind of a pain in the ass. I guess they really want to make sure these uprights stay upright. So I think the best way is going to be just to push it forward. And I'm going to put these side screws in here first. And I'm not going to tighten these all the way down. Well, these are going in at a freaking angle. Alrighty. Let me get my Bond Hus T-handles out here. Oh, no, it's 2.5. Come on. Get in there. Get started. Mother fluffer. I'm going to try not to excessively swear on here. Try is the key word. Oh, there we go. Finally, like, seated in there. Now, I'm not going to tighten these down. I'm going to just put these in so I can flip this over and then get the bottom bolts in without this going crazy. Any day for selling the Hero Me kits? I don't have one right now, unfortunately. I'm waiting. Aaron is out. His parents tested positive for COVID. He's waiting on his test, so he's out yet again. He was out for almost a couple months ago, and he's the one that handles that kind of stuff, so yay. Can't catch a freaking break here. So he is taking time off. This is, I think this gantry, let me raise this up. I can't get these to line up and the ends are kicked in. Let me see if this is holding it in place for some reason. What did I drink today, Tim? Nothing. Water? All right. No, I'm still doing 3D printer stuff. I already took my time off a couple weeks or a week ago. That's why I'm back. So I'm doing this kind of stuff and more back-end type work. Like I was setting up some Facebook integration with their page earlier, or attempting to. Their system is it's hard to deal with if you've never dealt with it before. So all right, let's get up in there. That actually went in. All right. Are we going to be lucky enough that these other ones thread in smoothly? We are. Okay, so all their screw holes that they've drilled line up well, which is good. Oh, there we go. I was about to say, did I speak too soon? No, we're good. All right, so I'm going to tighten these up. All right. Now we're going to come back up to the top here. And I've got 2 on each side, so I need to tighten these down, and then we're going to tighten this bracket up here that I loosened up that's got the 2 T-nuts and 2 that go into the base. The amount of securing to the frame that they did with this is actually pretty nice. Definitely more secure than other machines I've seen. I go ahead and plug the Z cable in. There are dual Z motors on here. Okay, there's one. Tuck that wire back down in. 2. Go ahead and tuck it away. And we're going to come over here and do this. All right. Now, the last thing I got to do is tighten up these 2 screws here, these 2 here. And I'm going to get those T-nuts locked in place. Not tighten them down yet because I want to tighten this down here. All right. There we go. I would use my T-handles here, but it's going to hit the base. All right. What's up, Matt? Forgot to say hi to everybody. My apologies. This is moving pretty smooth, and because the motors are hooked up, it's actually transferring power to the other motor. The Z feels really good, to be completely honest with you guys. There's another corner packing retainer here. Matt, who's oh, Dan's here. John Mack. Uderico. Roman. What did Roman say? Hang on. Yeah, the damn human malware. Yeah, I'm using the included stuff. I like my Bond has T-handles though. All right. So that's on. That's actually really damn solid. So I'll give them that. I will give them that. Just add a couple more. Oh wait, I can't from here. All right, I was gonna add some more moderators on, but I can't from the account I'm chatting on, which is my personal account, which has mod permissions. All right. Anyways, So I'm going to go ahead and get these little extrusion covers out. All right. Now, I will give Anet props that they actually send us machines still, and they reach out to us now. It's very brave of them. I do feel like, though, legitimately, their quality is getting better, which is good to see. They've got strain relief on the bed wire here, too. This is interesting choice of wire. This, though, this needs to be adjusted, for sure. Definitely needs to be adjusted. Alright, so according to the directions, I need to put this on here, which is the hot end. Alright. Come on. Yeah, there is a little like inductive probe or some sort of probe shoved in here. In the hot end here. That little what is that, like a 12? Looks like a 12. Oh, this top. I'm not a fan of that top there. That's literally just epoxy. But at least they have strain relief on it. That's funny. There's not even a cap on that sensor, whatever that is. We'll take it apart. I'm curious to know what the part number is on it, if there even is one. I would assume it's going to be capacitive, though, because they supply this with a glass bed on here. Alright, let's see. Does this just slide on here? One would assume. Yep. Alright. We got eccentrics? We got eccentrics. They need to be adjusted. It's over tightened. Yeah, I did give them a fire extinguisher at Murph. Like I said, I'm really surprised, and I give them props for having the balls to be like, yeah, we're gonna send you some stuff to check out. Aside from that weird auto level issue which was a firmware problem, the ET4 wasn't terrible. I just need to spend some more time with it. All right, so temp matches up temps. Everything's labeled. These are locking connectors, so I dig that. End. I still don't like that they're using these connectors for the hot end power. This is definitely the hot end power. LV, I'm assuming this is the level sensor. This isn't labeled LV, but one can assume this is the only 3-pin JST here. Oh, what's up, Vax? I haven't seen you on a stream in a long time. How are you doing? I know you had a run-in with the malware. I've been keeping an eye on your channel. All right. Okay, so there's all the plugs. I do like this little breakout board here. They do have little. Do you see this? These little retaining clips here. Do they give you zip ties? They do not. But these are definitely for securing this to the hot end. Hold your head still. We can do a free mold check. So I'm going to go ahead and just secure this here. I'm surprised unless I missed them, surprised they don't include any zip ties. Because that's definitely what these holes are for, is so you can do what I'm doing right now. Come on, Anet, include some zip ties. Unless I find them later. I don't recall seeing them when we were unboxing. I'm going to use my made in US snips here. There we go. How do you guys like the new camera? I'm digging it. I'm digging being able to do the manual zooming in and out. Alright, so let's see what the manual wants us to do. So I've already plugged that in. I skipped the step. I got to put the belt on. I'm just kind of on autopilot here. They used to include zip ties. Oh, they do. They were wrapped in with the belt. Oh, and they're reusable. Oh, they got fancy. Look at that. They got fancy with the zip ties. Okay, so I take that back, Anet. They did include a couple. Couple to a tree. I know Dr. Vex, he had his Anet, and he really liked his Anet. I think that was the ET4 you had. You did quite a few videos on in an article on your site about it, if I recall correctly. You try to keep tabs on everybody. All right, so let's get our X belt installed. Now, they do have little retainers here. So I'm going around the extrusion. Enjoy my work, hardware, software, and content. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. I love your delivery in your videos, and like you're very thorough. Like it's you have a very soothing voice. Don't take that the wrong way or weirdly, but your videos are very easy to watch. It's a pleasure. All right, so you can see here I got this looped around here, and this does appear to be like a rubber belt. It's not that weird plastic they used to use. And putting this into the carriage. Oh no. Now, let's see if they mention this here. They say to tighten it, but they don't show you. So these 4 screws on the X, they tighten here. So yeah, that was kind of my, I think that was a summary of the ET4 was I liked the hardware, but the software was so terrible. So I feel like I need to get in there and see if I can actually get Marlin 2 running on it, because I have a feeling this one's going to be kind of the same story, where the firmware is going to be kind of the letdown point for this machine. You know, but the reality is, if you have bad firmware, then you can have, you know, the best hardware in the world, but if the firmware that's running the damn thing doesn't work, you know, or it's hard to use or just buggy, then, you know, your product's as good as DOA. So, if they didn't use the weird custom boards they're using, they used something off the shelf like even a Robin, I would have been able to get something done for it already. All right, so I'm just tightening up the 4 bolts on the X motor here, which tensions the belt. You guys see that there? Let me just move that up. So belt's nice and tight. This is loosey-goosey. Is the belt under the X gantry making a non-rectangular trapezoid with the X gantry pulleys? Yeah, a little bit. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, it's doing the same thing that the Crealities are doing. The Crealities do. This pulley though should be a little smaller, because if you see here, it's kind of riding up, and it's gonna rub on the here. And they could just put a smaller pulley on here, which would then push this down more and not rub on the extrusion here. I had to get some water. Anyways, what's our next step in here? So I got the belt on, got the hot end connected. Now, nowhere does it say to adjust the belt for the Y. It does talk about adjusting eccentrics, but unless you have an idea of what they actually do, it's not really that clear, but it is present. So, I mean, it just shows use the wrench and turn them, which doesn't explain how to properly use them, but like this one over here is over tightened. I can't even break it loose a little. Loosen it up, and I'm gonna do that to all of them. Loosen them up until they break loose, and then bring them back, rein them in a little bit. I mean, there are eccentrics on here, so that's good. All right. Let's get under the bed here. There are only eccentrics on this side here, if you see them right there. There are no eccentrics on the other side. Which, I mean, whatever. We'll see if I can adjust it. Huh? That one bit. So, okay. No. Come on. Lock in. Okay. Way smoother than the Ziltech was. If you guys remember the Ziltech, I had some weird like funking as I was using it, but that stiffened up. I know you guys can't see much, but here we go. We'll bring it back down. Yeah. Solid. Ready? Ready? You heathens that leave this on your machines. I've gotten control boxes back that are 2-3 years old in for repairs, and they still have this on their LCD screen. What's wrong with you people? All right. So, I mean, next they want us to mount the spool holder, so I'm going to go ahead and just do all the little things that they should be including. There goes my timer for my lights. This is just clipped on with little retaining clips. Yes, it is actually water. You know what? Oh, there we go. Sorry. What I was saying is this needs to be pulled off. Do you see this? Otherwise, this is going to melt to the glass. This is like a coating that goes on the aluminum when it's being manufactured. Who is calling me? I don't know. Let's see. Hello? Okay. I guess it was a spam call. All right. So, it's a little dirty. Now, they do give you an Anet build sheet. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on the glass. Mike is on a timer. No, I accidentally hit it. Hey, John. Is this the same John that I got the little shuttle computer from? All right. Go ahead and put this on. I got it almost perfectly aligned. It's a little cockeyed, but that'll do, donkey. That'll do. Oh no. Okay, you see where... Oh, come on. You know what? Try this. Come on. Come on. Come on. Oh! Because this was torn. Whatever. We're gonna make it work. We're gonna make it work. We're gonna salvage it. Not bad. Not bad. That'll do. That'll do, donkey. That'll do. There you go. Good enough for government work. Awesome. I recapped that entire computer. I put about $150 worth of parts into it. You're probably cringing right now. But it works fantastic. I even put a solid state drive in it. All right. We can't hear you now. You guys can definitely hear me. You guys are probably on a delay. Yeah, I accidentally bumped the mute button on the mic when I was grabbing a cold one. All right. Now, the only thing I have left to do before I'm going to fire this up is put the... Oh, man, once you put this pad on here, these clips are... I bet them out a little bit. All right. I have to adjust. This belt on here is loosey-goosey. Oh, I have tons of RAM. John sent me so much RAM. I had boxes of RAM. I mean, I'll take it if it's just gonna get thrown out, but I have so much RAM now. I actually gave my buddy quite a few sticks because his RAM on his retro PC went out. So it went to a good home. I actually happen to have two 1 gig sticks of DDR1 400 megahertz sitting in my basement that were matched, so that's what's in the shuttle right now. Yeah, and you know what? It works, John. It works. If you look on my personal YouTube channel, there is a live stream of me playing some games on it, and that's my little escape. I've been using that. That was a very clutch moment for that to come in, because when I took some time off, I literally spent a week working on that computer. It was very enjoyable. All right, so let's get this on. It says slant it this way. Am I all the way zoomed out? There we go. Well, it's that old computer's got a new lease on life now. I'm sure you probably think I'm ridiculous for spending money and time on that old computer, but it brought me a lot of enjoyment so far. All right. Alrighty, so the spool holder's on. Looks pretty decent. Kudos to them for giving me a full roll in here, though. And it looks like these come with a full roll of PLA, which is nice. All right. Go ahead and feed that through. Got a filament sensor on here. Metal extruder. This arm's a little loose. I'm going to go ahead and just tighten that up. 2.5 should do the trick. Yep. All right. We are ready for power on. All right. Yeah, they all went to a good home. My buddy, I gave the printer bot to my buddy because I have enough projects around here. It's on the side here. Okay. Oh, and the funny thing is, once my friend, my buddy Joel, who lives by me, once he saw that I was messing around with the old shuttles, he had 3 more of them at his work in their basement. So I have 3 more of those sitting here. All right, so where's my SD card? And let's see, where's the user guide? Okay, printing process for the first print. Plug the power cable in, turn the printer on, home the print head. Okay, so now I don't want to ruin this, so I'm going to go ahead and put this down all the way. Now, I'm going to assume they're using the auto level sensor for the homing. And this actually has a real sensor on it, not that little. I think the other one had the, like, what's the word? That little, like, thing you put on the nozzle. It was weird. All right, so we got a memory card. That's pretty. How you doing? All right. Let's see what it does. Does not say to adjust the auto level sensor. So let's see what happens. And it is capacitive because it recognized my finger. They have not calibrated it. They do not state to calibrate it either. But I can tell you, I know a thing or two about sensors. You're going to want to calibrate the damn thing. So I'm just going to put this a little bit off the bed. And this should... Has this got power? Yeah. So there's an adjustment on the top here. You're going to want to adjust that. If you notice, it ate shit into the bed because this is not calibrated. So I'm going to assume it's like other sensors I've dealt with in you. Okay, their included screwdriver does not fit that. Okay, so now it's lighting up. You guys can see there, lighting up, and my nozzle's off the bed. So let's give that a try again. There it goes. So it is sensing. All right. Okay, so it wants us to manually level the bed. Info. We're running version 1.1.6 for the firmware. I'm going to home it one more time just to make sure everything's still working. Prepare. It does have a level menu. So here's the thing. This doesn't have a Z end stop, so I'm going to do the auto. And I press auto, I hit OK. Now, it should take measurements. Let's see if it does, because that's what the manual is saying. And I will manually level the bed. I just want to see if this will actually take the probe points before we go any further. Oh, they have that really slow. Okay, I press auto again. Start automatic leveling. Yes. It's really weird how they have the firmware set up. And I think this is wobbling. Why is this going up so high? Why? Do we have a max end stop on here? No, not that I can see. Why are we going up? I did send out an email. Oh, now we're going down. Why? Oh, I really want to get some marlin on here. Really want to get some marlin on here. Oh dear God, why is this so slow? Oh my God. So it's gonna do a grid. Holy crap. Anet, you need to speed this up. This is rough. And this says it's gonna do a 5x5 grid? It says the printer will have 5x5 points auto leveling. The screen only displays 3x3 though. Yeah, it's definitely doing a 5x5 because that was probe point 4. So this should be 5. Oh man. Well, how are you guys doing today? I just want to make sure this actually completes the auto level here. I'm wondering if the screen's only going to show like the 3 here by 3 here by 3 here, and it's just going to omit the rest because it's not showing any other ones. If it does, it's going to show one more on here if my theory is correct. Maybe not. Because it populated the first row, but only 3 values. It's not Oh, unless it's going to skip. Yeah, this is weird. Now, will it show the middle row? So this should be the 3rd row. I'm assuming if it's going to do that. Yep. So it just showed it here. So it skips this row. So it's going to skip the 2nd row, and I'm assuming it's going to skip the 4th row, and then it just omits these 2 rows of points from the LCD. So this screen is actually only showing like it's kind of useless, to be honest. I don't like this firmware. I'll be completely honest with you guys. I don't like this already. The hardware seems decent, which is what I said about the ET4. It's just the software. They need to get someone that knows what they're doing to do the software. Give Scott Latina a call. Okay. So it's not omitting this. So what it's doing is it's taking this one, and this one. Okay, for the first row it shows on screen, and then it takes this one, and this one for the middle row. And then I'm assuming on the back row it's going to take this one, and this one. So it's doing a 3x3. It's hard, I could draw it out and show you guys, but it's showing the corners and the dead center and these points here. So it's showing all four corners, this center point here, the center point in the center of the bed, and then these two outer points here on the third row. So I guess it's not useless, but it's not showing all the data points. So now here's the thing. The values I'm getting are actually not that bad. The first row is showing -1, -0.5, -0.2. The middle row is showing -0.2, then 0.4, then 0.3. This back corner shows 0.6. So, I mean, it's got auto leveling. That's not that bad. I am going to manually level a bed. But then I'm going to have to do this again. I might just roll with this. But it does say, in their defense, it does say it'll manually level the bed, which is what I tell people to do too with our ABL kits. But in theory, if you have an ABL sensor, your bed doesn't have to be level. It's just the less amount of compensation that has to happen, the less skewed your print will be. So that worked. It says auto leveling process finishes in 6 minutes. Okay, it says complete leveling, hit OK. All right. So it's going to home now. It does have the values in here. CH filla, I'm assuming that's change filament. So if it's already got the filament loads, let's go ahead and do a preheat. I'm going to preheat the nozzle and the bed. Okay, so it goes right to 60. The nozzle jumps right up to 230 when you tell it to heat. So, and it's got little progress bars. I do like that. Let me just show you guys what I'm looking at here. Rotate that. Let me lock my little ball head here. So the bed is heating. The hot end fan did kick on. It was off. So they do have that on a controlled output, which is nice. It's a nice touch. So we're heating up. Let me see if I can, what it does if I tell it to load. So they must have cold extrusion prevention because they don't have, it's not feeding yet. I'm going to let it get up to a little bit past temp. So let's see, 170 is usually the defaults. Nope, still not loading. Okay, that's just a temp. I'm assuming you press load. Or maybe it's not going to let me load it until it's at temp. So let's let it get to 210 and see if it'll let me load it. Oh, there it goes. Now it's loading. There we go. Oh, that's weird. As soon as I hit load, the motor gets another command that just interrupts it, which is really weird. But it is feeding plastic. Now, am I able to move my Z at all through here? No, I'm not. Here's auto level. Let's see. Setting. Z. Okay, so that's how you move your axes. You can also move your extruder. Yep. So I do have plastic coming out. Oh, did not mean to zoom in further. So there is shmoo on the bed now. So it is melting. The bed's warm. All right. So let's see. Is there nothing on the SD card? Print file. Did they not give you anything on the SD card? Print. Let me reboot it. Print. Now, let's hope that there's no Chinese viruses on here. Go ahead and plug that into my computer. Let's see what we have on here. Oh, I meant to share my monitor. Let's see here. So there's G-code files in... Okay, so I'm assuming this is English, and this is in Chinese. Yeah. Please read the installation instructions. If you modify the printer, it's not covered under warranty. Fairly standard parts list. It's probably stuff that's all in. Oh, am I gonna lose ABL? Did I lose ABL? Hang on. Prepare level. Oh, son of a. Yep. Well, let's let it go through and do that while we're going through the SD card. So I'm assuming if I cut these and paste them into the root directory, it's probably not reading subfolders. So let's look at the actual G code here. Oh, they're distributing S3D files. There's no G29 in here. Let's see. This is definitely different. So they must have updated it. Oh, it's on the back. So this is one of the printout that's in here, but this display is definitely different than what I see here. These might be when it's printing. Setup manual. It's got a FAQ here. Oh, this is nice. Okay, so it says the heat bed resistance should be about 3 ohms. Check the heating pipe resistance of the nozzle, about 15. That's correct. So it should be about 15 for a 40 watt. Don't hot plug in the motor, that may cause damage to the main board. Yes, you do not hot plug your motors. This is interesting. Okay, so the auto level sensor is only 5 volts. So it does have like a Z offset. We're on the third row, it looks like. All right. Software. So it's got a CH340 driver, Cura. Starting code, end code. Copy rep to your host. What is this? There's a step file here too. This is the cooling duct, so they do give you the STL for that. That's a nice touch. And what is this? Looks like something for the lead screw, possibly. Is that for lead screw? They have printed parts by lead screw? They do. Okay, so they have a printed part by the lead screw nut. Okay, so they do. I mean, this is a nice touch. Like I said, I feel like they are getting their shit together. I don't understand why they didn't go with a standard firmware, though. Would have been much easier to recommend these machines if they had just standard boards in them. Yep, it's reading the files now that I put them on the root. It's still doing the auto level. And there go my lights. Man, having firmware that's kind of janky really puts a damper on things. I wonder if somebody got Marlin work on here. Let's see. Anet, ET. Let's see if the ET4 has Marlin support yet. ET4 is not open sourced yet. Came across a Facebook group. I'm gonna check and see if they have a see if they have like a what's a new new firmware. Sorry. I'm like reading while I'm trying to talk. I can't do both very well. Let's see. While that's going, I'm on their website right now. I'm looking here. Download. So we're on version 1.1.6. There's a post from March 8th that the ET4 is 1.1.5. Can you guys please just open source your firmware for these so you can have people like me just actually make it work? So they do sell just the sensor, so you can add it onto your ET4. I would take that over their I would take that over the little stick-on thing. Even if their ABL sensor isn't that accurate, I'd still prefer that over the little thing you shove on there. I'm not a fan. Little pressure switch, as they call it. Alright, so it says completed leveling. Let me go ahead and home this. Wait, setting, home. Now it's going slow. Okay. So the question is, so assuming this is where you set the offset. Let's set the -2. Hit OK, because I think that this is going to home it. Let me look through the manual here and see if it says. Okay, so that definitely set the position. Okay, so I'm going to take this. I'm going to drop this down until it actually touches the paper. There we go. I'll go up a little bit. That's too loose. There we go. Too tight. Too loose. Okay, -3.95. Okay, so when you hit OK, it homes it, and then it's going to take in the value you have here and put it down. So let's see. If the sensor is working correctly and it's giving me an accurate reading, then it should go back to the same position. So it's homing, and now it's going down, so it should grab the paper. So it's still moving it down, even though the sensor triggered. And it's high. It's definitely a little too high. All right, so now it's grabbing again. Let me hit OK. So here's the thing, if this keeps drifting, so based on the behavior I'm seeing here, it does the home, it gets its home position, like other sensors I've used. So it's going to do 2 touch-offs, and then it'll come back down, and their firmware is going to move the nozzle down based on its home position and this value you gave it. So let's see if this digs into the bed. No, it's good. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and print. What do we want to do here? What's Squircle? Let's do Squircle. That sounds fun. Let's do Squircle. All right, now we wait. Should I put together like a funding goal of firmware for these ET machines? Let me see if I find a picture of the board. Anet ET4 board. Maybe I can work my magic on it. They have their board. So the ET4 and the ET4 Pro use similar parts. So here's the thing: if you have an ABL sensor, you don't need that top one. The only reason they do that is because that little pressure sensor thing. Is the bed and the nozzle hot already? No, it's heating up. Yeah, there will be some thermal expansion. Let's see, main board. So you can get them with 2208s or 4988s. This definitely has a 4988. Oh, you can't even... Okay, you can't even select them. Oh. Is their site broke? Oh, I can't even select a... Okay, so I can't select a different one. Now, if I recall correctly... Oh, it didn't even heat the bed. Alright, well... Let's see what we do. Go to G28. Looks like it went down to the height it's supposed to. I hear ABL working. I hear what. It's extruding. Yeah, there's no Z adjust. Like, they're pretty much locked into this screen. That's a fan speed. Okay, that's the bed. So it's not even heating the bed for this G code. But you can set the bed here. The hot end is not holding temp very well, though. We're at 193. I tell it the heat is going to go. So the ABL is working. It's doing something. It's compensating. The Z is moving. And we're off to a better start than the ET4. It is compensating. Now remember, I did not actually level the bed. I just cranked the things down. So their ABL settings are actually working somewhat well, which is impressive. We're already off to a better start than the ET4. This definitely does not have 2208s. This is way too loud for 2208s. Sounds like 4988s. So I'm looking at the board to just see what their inputs and outputs are. It's doing. We're already off to a better start than the ET4. I will say that. Let me go back to my ET4 video, and I think the LCD was connected with ribbon cables. So here's the thing. If they would have shipped this firmware and that sensor on the ET4, it would have definitely been a lot more positive of an experience than that little doohickey pressure sensor thing they did. Did I open that printer up on stream? I thought I did. Did I open it up before we... Hang on. Oh yeah, I did. I opened it up before we said... Okay, I was like going through later in the stream. Yeah, so it's 2 ribbon cables. Yeah, they're definitely using the same kind of board. I'd be really surprised if this had a different board than the ET4. Play him. Just go get a cheap like $10 MP3 player and strap it in your printer. I mean, aside from the slow auto leveling, this is already a lot better experience than the ET4 was. The ET4 Pro is ET4 version with a new ABL sensor. That's what someone's saying in chat. Oh, the ET4 Pro. Okay, so the ET4 Pro is the 4 with the new hot end setup. This just says ET5, nothing special. Just plain old ET5. They sent this to us. We've only had this sitting here for a week or two. We've not had this sitting for a while. They are doing a raft, if you can't tell. Yeah, I mean, this is already off to a lot better start than the ET4 was. There's a lot of crossover with the parts, though. I'd be willing to bet the control board and the LCD are exactly the same in both models. Physical build quality seems decent, just like the ET4. Anet, give me your firmware so I can actually port Marlin over to it. That would be great. Is that too much to ask? Now, while this is going, I mean, it's printing. It's printing. The ABL's working. I don't have any aside from like it taking forever to do auto leveling. It's actually working. I like that. I like that a lot. So I'm right now while this is printing, I'm going through online, seeing if anybody has even start of a firmware, whether it's fully working or not, for this printer for Marlin, to give me a starting point. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna be in for a rough time. Maybe I'll have to get Scott involved. So one thing I am gonna do once this is still on the raft. One thing I am going to do once I get this test print done is I'm going to hook it up here and send some commands to it and see if I can figure out what firmware is on it and if it's actually a custom jobby or if they somehow, you know, wrapped Marlin up. So they have a, let's see, they have a guide here. This is on their Anet group, the J-Link, which is just a programmer. If I can download that, I guess not. I guess it's just a, I don't have one of these, but I'm wondering if this would work. I wonder if I could use a FTDI. What does that say? STM32F407. STM32F407 VGT6. I don't know what you mean by do you still have the stocks bed for ender size? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Let me see. STM32F407. So I find the data sheet. VGT6 is like a sub part number. F407XX. Okay. Yeah, different packages and memory size. Okay. I think Anet, I think they support. The only thing is LCD is going to be the problem. Do they have... and just going back to the print, it looks like we're doing another layer on the raft. That's what it seems like. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll go back to there. I'm just looking at the data sheet right now. What are the specs on this chip? Let me find the table on the data sheet here. Dear God, this data sheet is so long. All right. It's a glossary. No, come on. Where's your table? Most of these data sheets will have a table showing you like what each part number has RAM in terms of stuff. Okay, so the STM32F407 series has 192K of SRAM. Which is not bad. This is definitely part of the raft still. Every layer is a step further on why. Is that good? Does that have the trinamics in it? Okay, so STM32F407VG. This is the VG T6. Come on, STM, give me lists here. Says it's 168 megahertz, or up to, according to STM's site, up to 168 megahertz. 32-bit M4 ARM. I'm not a fan of STM's data sheets. They're kind of a pain. Let's see. Compiling Marlin for STM32F4. Let's see here. So I'm not seeing... I'm going to search through Marlin's issue queue and see if anybody... ET4... Let's see, let me search ET5. What? You need to go to the live portion. I think you're a little behind. I'm just looking through here. This guy's trying to make this display work on a SKR board. Issue number 18156. Let me see here. I'm wondering if I can set this up like the Robin boards. I can't remember what chip is on the Robins. I know it's STM32. I don't know if it's the same exact one or not, though. Let's see. I'm just gathering information right now. That's why I'm being quiet while this is still printing the raft. I swear to God, if this is doing more raft and not actually starting the print. I think it's starting the print now. Yes, it is. Thank God. Since someone's bringing up the shears, these might actually be from the US. They're stamped on here. Made in the USA. You guys can see that, so I guess we'll take them at face value. That's surprising. We'll see. I'm gonna use these, see if these hold up. I just thought it was weird that they would, you know, have US made clippers when they make 1 million of them in China. Interesting. Because they would have to ship it all the way to China and then ship it back out with the printer. Unless they give them one hell of a deal on them. And you guys find any firmware out there for these on Marlin? So far, though, this one is seeming a lot better than the ET4. Definitely a better experience. The auto level takes a while, but I wish you could save it. The only thing that sucks is that you have to do it every time you restart, apparently. So if you unplug the printer power and plug it back in, I'm wondering if they don't have any sort of EEPROM on here, which most of the STM chips don't have EEPROM. What they've been doing in Marlin for boards like some of the SKR E3 minis, the first versions, the 2.0, they actually put a dedicated EEPROM chip on. But they'll actually use part of the program memory for EEPROM. So it is doing the actual print now. I'm gonna look up let me look up the board list. I might end up just having to get this over to Scott. Maybe I'll send him one of these machines. Because if he has the ET4, if I like send him the ET4 or the ET5 and they both have the same board and LCD, we can kind of work in parallel with getting it added to Marlin. Because we're not using our ET4, that firmware was rough. So we have not been using it. I mean, the alternative would be to swap the board out and LCD and call it a day. Because physically, the printer seems to be pretty decent. I saw the fan try to turn on. The fan says it's set at 33% on the LCD right now. There. Let's see, let me turn it up. Okay, it is working. It just doesn't spin at 33% apparently. It's just because it's on the raft. Raft, it separates. It's kind of dropping the plastic onto the other plastic that's already there. Let me look at Marlin's board list. Source, pins. The test print said it was Squircle, SQUIRCLE -4H.G code. Squircle. Oh, we don't. Those are long gone. We don't have any of those left. Francisco. I'm trying to see. So they have STM. So in Marlin, the STM32F4 series, which is what this is supported. But I'm trying to see if they. Where the hell is the, like? There used to be a boards file that listed the boards. Oh, it's in core now. They keep moving everything to folders. Okay, boards.h. Let's see. So getting the actual board supported, I don't think it would be a big task. It's just trying to figure out how the LCD talks to it. So I'd have to cross-reference to see what's already out there. Otherwise, a whole new library would have to be coded for the LCD that's in this printer, which is beyond my ability right now and time. I'm sure I could get it working, but the amount of time it would take would be a lot. I'm just looking through the pins file, or the boards list file here. Yeah, there's only one Anet board here. F407, I think this is a VG. There's no VGs matching. There's other STM 400 series chips. Oh, hey, speaking of the devil, Scott. You got any time to work on this? Dr. Vax, I think I have your just actually send me a message to streams at th3dstudio.com. There we go. Yeah, there's definitely no board defined for this. So it's very much going to be starting from scratch. And I'm not seeing any Marlin like independent branches where people have tried to look on this. This came up in my search, but I'm not seeing anything on here. Hang on. Anet? Yeah, there's no hits for Anet. Is ET4? ET4? ET5? Nope. So the STM32F407 VGT6 is what's on this board. This is a little dev board this guy's talking about. But this is the processor that's on here. This guy here, let's see, he's trying to run this off of a SKR board. Livestream at 7. It said I scheduled it for 2:30. So I'll have to delve into it. I'm willing to bet it's the same board in LCD that's in the ET4. This guy's saying it's the ST7789V. Scott, do you know if we have any LCDs running that chip already in Marlin? Because I know there's generic STM32F4 support. So if the LCD is, if that particular chip for the LCD is already supported somehow through another vendor, it shouldn't be too hard to put together a pins file. It'll be a decent amount of work, but this is why not having source code's a pain, because if you want to upgrade the machine, there's no upgrades for it. This was one that came up. This is guys running one off of... Oh, this is a completely different one. Okay. That's just one that came up. Oh yeah, because here, some guy left in the comments here. That's good to hear, Karakino. I don't think the LCD is independent of the firmware, though. I don't think... I see a lot of companies, and we saw this like on the Bluer, the Kingroon, the ones that use those MKS boards. The LCD is actually driven off of the board. It's not just serial anymore. But let me switch back over here. It is printing fairly well. The hot end's definitely overshooting and undershooting. Like the target temp is 200. It's at 205, and now it's at 203. Now it's at 201. I'm gonna let this go for a little while longer. It is working though. This is definitely working a lot better than the ET4, and I think that's down to the firmware. And the fact that it's not using that janky sensor. I'm just looking to see if anybody's made any progress on this. I just heard a click noise, probably from the extruder. Like, why go through the trouble of developing your own board? Like, because as far as I know, they've done their own board. When there's other stuff out there that'll give your users more flexibility, unless they intentionally want to lock it down. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I'll reach out to our contact and see if they can send me the information. I mean, the hardware seems decent. Like I said on the ET4, the hardware was pretty solid. The only thing that's gonna be a pain, so like I can define it as a STM32F4 generic board. David, email it to streams@th3dstudio.com. I'm gonna pull that up right now. There's a GitHub project trying to map some things. Okay, because yeah, I can probe out all the I/O pins. I'm just pulling up my mailbox here. What's the actual name of this board here? Oh, here's a hex file for the ET4. Let me walk through their Oh, you must have you can ignore. I don't know why that would have. I think you might have copied. I got Dr. Vex. I got your email. Let's see what Dave sent over. Marlin for ET4. Okay, not working. LCD. Let me switch over to this. Main monitor. Here we go. Oh, hey, look, he provided the data sheet here. This is the one I was looking for. Hopefully, let's see. See, this is what you gotta see. Up to. I want to see what this actually has. So here's the table I was looking for. Okay, so 407V. So it can either have 512 or 1024, 192K of SRAM. I mean, if it's the V, it's at least got 512K, which is good, or even a meg. I'm going to assume they probably want the 512K one. Let's see. So according to this, it looks like these are 168 megahertz ARM processor, which is pretty beefy. All right, well, this is good. Not working EEPROM LCD. I mean, this is a good start. Okay, so they've already got the pins all mapped out. If I'm going to go through the trouble of putting together a TH3D model, I'm not going to use Anet for the OEM. I would rather use Solval or Creality, if we're being completely honest here. What do they have this defined as? Okay, so they have an ET4 board config defined. I'm assuming they put it in here. Yep. I don't think it's a D-Win. It's probably going to be similar to the Robins. Because there's no way to update the firmware on the LCD. I can't remember what the Robins use. F1. Ah, look at look at the Robins use ST7789V, Ooh. 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 That's what that one guy said. Where is it? I think I lost it. Okay, so if the Robins are using the ST7789V and this other guy was using the ST7789V. Ooh. Yeah, here, look at Anet ET4 touchscreen display ST7789V. This might be doable. So I was saying, I figured they used something similar to the Robin. Scott. I'm excited. Okay. Yeah, see here, Anet ET4 display ST7789V. So, since we already have that working with the Robins, it shouldn't be too hard. Because here, you got, see all these? All the data pins and everything? DMA channels, all this other stuff. Yeah, see here, supported screen. So someone's already noted this. Is this a 320 by 240? It sounds right. Oh man, I'm gonna be screwing with this. Yeah. It looks like that's what they're using for this. And 320 by 240. So in theory, if we map all the pins out, and set it up like a Robin, and yeah, basically if you get the pins going from the board to the LCD and set it up like Robin, like the Robin LCD, should be in good shape. So I'm gonna have to play with this. Yeah, see the ET4, they have the ET4 Pro. So they're shipping the ET4 Pro with the same exact hot end that's on the ET5 here. Anyways, let's check on our print. It's printing. It's printing still. Yeah, so they're using the same kind of screen that the Robins use. So if that gives you an idea from a development perspective, I think I'm gonna have to pick your brain on this to get this machine supported. Because I feel like I could fumble through this and get it working. It will just take me a lot more time than I did before. So let's do this. Since I've got, holy crap, we've got 139 people watching. Holy crap. Check out pull request. I think I already came up with that one. I think I already came across that pull request. Yeah. Or no, sorry, that's a different one. There was one where a guy was hooking the screen up to an SKR. That's the one I came across. All right. Well, Scott, when you have time to work on this with me, let me know. I'd be more than happy to give time to getting Anet users Marlin for this board. It looks like it can be done. I don't see why it couldn't. If we've already got the CPU supported and this is using a chip on the LCD that's already being used on the Robin boards, I don't see why it can't get supported. And I'm willing to give my time to do this. I can also, if you really want, I can send you the ET4. I could put it in the box that the ET5 came in. Or the ET5. I really don't care. I just want to get you, or unless you want me to just send you the board in the LCD. I don't know if you got room for more machines or not, Scott. So here's the thing. Anet actually has on the board. On the product page for the board, I believe they had all the pinouts listed on here. Yes, they did. Do you see this? Right there. So I'm gonna save this photo here. Yeah, Robin Mini already if you have an ET4 in the box or an ET5 in the box, Dr. Vex, I will pay to ship that from you to Scott, because to rebox up a printer is a huge pain for me, to be completely honest. Scott, let me know. I can make that happen. I can literally send Dr. Vex a label and prepay it, and all he has to do is have UPS grab it or drop it off at a UPS point. But this is a lot of information here. We can infer that it's probably like this is ground 3.3, ground 3.3. I can easily probe that out to determine, because then that'll give us then the actual order of these pins on the board here. Same thing for this. If we use the VIN and the ground as the origin points, we can figure out the pin out on here. Come on, why won't they just give us the source code? That would be great. Please provide source, Anet. Let me switch back over. Let's see how we're doing. It's printing pretty damn well. I don't know, Dr. Vex. If you're gonna give up the machine, I'm paying all the shipping on that for you. I got your email, so I also think I have Scott's address. I also have contact with Scott, so I can make it happen. All right, so all in all, aside from the firmware being a little janky and like clunky, I do actually like this machine, especially when compared to the ET5, because the ET5's little pressure thing was kind of a joke. All right, let's test the power resume. It says it has power resume. So, oh no, my power went out. Oh no. Let's let it sit for a sec. Let's turn it back on. Let's see what it does. Print continue. Okay, I'm going to hit yes. So I put the hot end back at the target temp. So it does the first, when it resumes, it does that at a slower rate. It's not a perfect resume, but it is pretty, it's lined up well. So I guess that does work. Yeah, it's the ABL's not on. It's definitely not on. So it's resuming without the bed compensation. If they open source this firmware, this printer could be a lot better because I'd already have firmware out for it. Same thing with the ET4. Okay, so what's the price point on this one? Hardware-wise, just like the ET4, I like the hardware. I cannot complain about the hardware. Their QC is actually pretty good. We're going to check grounding and everything. So this is $379. I've got a Sunlu S8 sitting here in the box, which I haven't opened up, but I believe that's the same. I believe that's the same build volume. And what did I pay for that one? That was, yeah, it's the same build volume, $339. And what does a CR10 go for? Just so you guys that are watching, I am going to do, yeah, no, definitely do a manual level. But it is resuming the prints. I'm gonna let it go while we're just going here. I'm just comparing to what else you can get in that price bracket, okay? So you can get a CR10 from Creality for $350. Creality 3D official. You can get a CR10 for $379. So here's I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I would not buy this over a CR10 just because of the whole firmware. Build quality wise, I would say it's not any worse than a CR10. It's not any better than a CR10, but Anet has stepped up their game in terms of their quality. Absolutely. But if you're somebody that's going to modify your machine, you're going to upgrade it, you're going to, you know, hack it up, you're going to put a direct drive on it, you want to be able to play with the firmware, this is not the printer for you. But this is working. The firmware's kludgy, but it's working. So I can't be like, oh, this is crap, because it's printing. It's printing, and from what I can see right now, it's printing pretty well. So let me stop the print. I don't see a reason to buy this over a CR10. I'm sorry, Anet, but I can't recommend this over a CR10. I have a Sunlu S8, which will be another stream, which we paid full price for. I would be able to recommend this over a CR10. Or be like, get whatever one fits your preference if your firmware was open source. That's my take on it. Let's see. So we can see here, let me zoom in. Enhance. So you can see this is where I turned it off and it resumed, and it did resume. It's not perfect, but it's not a bad first print at all. Not at all. This is just this looks like this because they use a raft. This is their code. But like I said, physically not a bad machine. Not a bad machine. I don't think you're gonna go wrong buying this. But given the price point at $380, let's be honest, guys. A lot of people, whether they buy the printer as their first machine or they buy it, you eventually get into modding it, and this is not a modder-friendly machine. This has a nice feature set. You got an ABL probe that appears to work decent. You've got a filament sensor. You got dual Z. The build quality is actually physically pretty damn good. I just can't recommend it over a CR10 because of the firmware. Now, if Anet were to open up the firmware, I would probably recommend this over a CR10, being completely honest. But most people are going to want to modify their machine. They're going to want to put upgrades on it. They're going to want to change out the extruder. Now, they do have a metal extruder. Props there. You got a filament sensor. Props there. ABL sensor that seems to work fine. Props there. It's got a lot of potential, but the fact that they're not using firmware that's modder friendly, it's kind of a deal breaker. Now, if we're talking about people are going to use it stock for stock, okay? Stock CR10 versus this has more features, period. This has more features. So if you're somebody that's not going to want to screw with it, then this isn't a bad buy. I'm not going to say don't buy this. I'm just going to say, like, especially, like, you guys know us. We're a company that specializes in upgrades on these, on Chinese 3D printers. One of the things that allows us to do upgrades is being able to have firmware that's open source so we can put customizations, give people a better user experience, and enable them to do upgrades on their printer. Like, you need to change your E-steps, you need to reverse your extruder direction because you changed the extruder out. You have none of that options here. You can't do any of that on this machine. So basically, you're stuck using this stock. That's why I can't recommend it personally over a CR10. Build quality, though, is nice. Like, Anet has been stepping it up. 110%. Anet's been stepping up their quality check. Anet's been stepping up their actual physical build quality. So, physically, this is a nice machine. And this is all my opinion, okay? You guys can take it or leave it. I really don't care. I'm just giving you guys my opinion. You guys are probably watching this because you want to know what I think of it. So, all in all, not a bad machine. And the fact that somebody's got this started and this has got an STM chip, I am going to be plugging away at this. Please don't ask our support people or anybody when it's going to be out. Basically, when I get something done, I'll get it out. Now, I'm going to, since Dr. Vax has offered to send Scott a printer and Scott is willing to accept it, I'm going to pony up for a label and send that printer from Vax to Scott, and we're going to make this happen. So, the nice thing is because ET4 and ET5 use the same board and same LCD, once we get one supported, we'll get both supported. So, if you want a printer that's got bed leveling stock and a filament sensor stock and dual Z, feature for feature, this offers more than the CR10. But if you are somebody that's going to want to modify your printer, you're going to want to have options for upgrades down the road that are going to require firmware changes. Right now, this printer doesn't offer that, which is a shame. I don't know how to convince Anet that, like, even if they use, as much as I don't like the MKS Robin boards, if they would have used an MKS Robin in here with their LCD, getting Marlin on here would not be that difficult. You could swap the board out. You just have to, it's very involved because of that breakout board. That's about it. The hardware in this is not terrible. It does. We'll open it up while I'm just giving my thoughts on this. So let me get the LCD or the filament off here. I am gonna grab another beverage, and then I think if you guys, because I'm trying to segment more of the casual hangout stuff from this channel over to my personal channel, because I can be a little more lax over there on my personal channel. So if you guys do want to hang out while I'm doing work, development work, tinkering, that kind of stuff, that's going to be more on my personal channel now going forward. Let me see here. Let me grab a beer. And we're going to open this up. The printer. I'm also going to open the beer. But also going to open the printer. All right. Yeah, we're gonna do our standard checks. I wouldn't rob you guys of that. So let's go ahead and let's get into the guts of this thing. Like I said, Anet, you guys got your hardware down. You got your quality checks a lot better than they were before. But then you go and screw it up on the firmware side. Like, come on, can you? throw me a bone here. I will personally take on the Marlin firmware branch for this printer if you could just provide me with the source code. Like, I kind of have a soft spot. I'm not really brand loyal, but Anet was my first machine, and the fact that they're clearly trying to turn around their company from the whole, you know, fire starter stereotype, you know, because they don't have thermal runaway protection on their older machines. Their new ones do. I put money on it that this one does because the ET5 had it, or the ET4 had it. I will test this just to be 100% sure, but they are learning, they are improving. It's just, it's frustrating. They fix one thing and they create another. Their last machines, you could flash the firmware with Marlin, and you know, there are a lot of people that buy machines and they just use them stock. But the reality is that a lot of people that buy 3D printers, they want to screw with them, myself included. You know, I will say that as I'm getting older or more, you know, on the business side of things, I'm doing less useless or unneeded upgrades, but I still love having the option of being able to make improvements with the firmware. That's never going to change. So this is the ET4 motherboard, same board. The LCD is slightly different. I think it might be bigger. I think that might be the only difference. This LCD might be bigger, but this is the same board. This is labeled ET4-MB 1.1. There actually are no tinned wires. I forgot about this. There's no tinned wires because they have actual connectors on here. This is what I'm saying. This isn't bad. This is a nice start. Can we get some firmware action in here? Just humor me. Come on, Anet, humor me. Give me some firmware action in here. Okay? I have my Klein ready, so let's test the grounding. But yeah, there's no tin wires because they're using crimps. Close. Like I said, not bad. Come on. There we go. All right, let's check grounding. Okay, so from ground wire to the terminal here, 0. Chassis, 0. So we got good grounding. Let's see if the chassis itself is grounded. 20 ohms. Let's check a bunch of different points on here. So there is some grounding, but it's 20 ohms, and I'm willing to bet it's because this is coated. We've seen this on a bunch of other machines where, because of this coating here, okay, and the screws going through it, if that coating's not stripped away, and literally I can improve the grounding in like 2 seconds here. So watch this. And the voltage switch is set to 110. I'm assuming it was, because if it wasn't, it probably would have shut off. So these 4 screws on top, these 4 here are for the power supply. So since the power supply actually has good grounding, let me just take one of these out. Let me show you how quick this is. Okay, take one of these out. Take my Dremel. Okay, just get some of the little plastic coating off, and then put the screw back in. And they should give me a better grounding. All right. Let's see if my theory was correct. My sanding wheel is like worn out on here, so it might not have done that good of a job, but we'll check. So we're at like 22 ohms before. We're at 0.5 now. Oh, we're at 0. It's zeroed out. You guys see that? That's simple. Many other machines that we've unboxed had that issue, but the important part is the power supply itself actually has a good ground, at least on mine. Yours may vary, but it's got a good ground. I just want you guys to realize this. I have no hardware complaints on this printer aside from they could have, sanded the ground down, but the power supply itself is grounded. The bed is a DC bed, so if the chassis is not grounded, But the power supply chassis itself is grounded. So my only complaint on this is the firmware. Think about that. This is a printer I just unboxed from Anet. That my only complaint is the lack of firmware customization. It's wild. That's wild. Yeah. That's literally my only complaint about this printer is the firmware. It's got the same cheap Chinesium power supply in it that every other company uses. I could probably swap a meanwhile in here in 2 seconds. It's probably a 24. Yep. It's a 360 watt, 24 volt. It's a Changlang too, just like Creality. Huh. But it's a 360 watt. We haven't seen the 360 watt from Changlang. They usually do the 350s in the realities. So maybe they intentionally use a different wattage one. I don't know. Maybe I lucked out. Maybe I got lucky that one actually had good ground. I'd still recommend checking your grounding. But in terms of the unit I received, okay, I have no hardware complaints for this printer. Think about that. I have zero hardware complaints about this printer. It's the firmware. And that's rough. As someone that likes to tinker, as someone that runs a company that specializes in tinkering with printers and coming up with stuff to upgrade printers, not having firmware that is able to be tweaked and modified and customized, that's a huge deal to me. If it's not a big deal to you, and you want a printer that's got a lot of features that's built pretty well, then I guess that would be better than this would be better than a CR10 for you. But if you're someone that does like to tinker, at least right now, because Anet has no source code release for this printer, there's no Marlin that's fully working for this printer. I plan on working with Scott and Dr. Vax to change that. But physically, not a bad printer at all. That's about it. I'm pretty impressed with the build quality. The firmware actually works. It's slow on the probing. They could definitely improve that, but it worked. It worked. So I'm not going to get too nitpicky. So I'd say definitely if you can pick this machine up for like $300, be worth it over CR10. Do they even sell the CR10 with the single lead screw? Because this does have dual lead screws out of the box. I'm looking on Creality's site. What do they still sell? Do they sell just a straight up CR10? Yeah, they do. So the CR10 is the same price as this if we're going by manufacturer site to manufacturer site, okay? So what does the Anet ET5 give you over a bog stock CR10? Dual Z, filament sensor, 32-bit board, and ABL probe. So that's a lot of extras on there. Downside is, for right now, as of making and shooting this live stream, you can't customize the firmware at all on this machine. Now, eventually the community is going to come together, whether it's me or someone else. We're eventually going to get firmware working for it, but it could be a month, it could be a week, it could be a year. There's no telling on that. That's the thing. So it's not a bad machine at all. If you don't mind using it stock for a while, and hopefully the actual firmware, we either get something from Anet or something from myself or Scott or Dr. Vex or someone else in the community, that's going to limit you on your customizations. But it does have more features than the CR10 at the same price point. And it's got a lot of significant features, mainly being bed leveling or auto bed leveling, dual Z, and filament sensor. And the 32-bit board and the touchscreen, in my opinion, take it or leave it. For a machine like this, it's not a crazy awesome 32-bit board. It's still a Cartesian machine, so it's kind of a wash. But it is technically better, technically faster. So, but there's no Marlin support for it right now. Does anybody have any questions before I wrap this up? So my summary is going to be, if you don't mind using it stock and you're between this and a CR10, this is a better buy features wise. But if you're definitely going to be wanting to modify it, changing the extruder, your hot end, your thermistor, doing different upgrades to it, or let's say you want to change their ABL probe to a BL Touch or an Easy ABL, that's not an option right now. But it's not a bad machine. The board seems to be fairly decently designed. It's no better or worse than Creality's boards or the other Chinese boards. But the thing that's preventing you from being able to swap the board out really quick is the fact that you got this ribbon cable for the hot end. So you'd have to break these connections out 2 separate wires, which is not an easy task. Even for me, it would take me, I'd probably take about an hour to make a harness for this. So the ideal thing would be able to be loading Marlin onto this board. So, but you want to change my old CR10 to 1.8, you don't do it. It's a waste of money. You're not going to get any performance improvements or print quality differences. The only reason to change your steppers from 1.8 to 0.9 is to tell the nerds on the internet that you change your steppers to 0.9 degrees. They literally doesn't make a difference at all. I've tried it on multiple machines. I've never seen a print quality improvement. It's solely for nerd bragging rights. That's it. Doesn't make a damn difference. You're gonna lose torque too. So I would don't even bother. Can you throw a regular LCD on a flash with the firmware? No. I don't think you're going to be able to. I'm looking at this though. Now, because it's got that ribbon cable, we want to get this board supported. So, but yeah, that's about it. So if I get Marlin working, will you be putting this into your farm or just a dust collector? If I get Marlin working, I'm going to be putting it to the farm. I think the next printer I'm going to work on is the i3 Mega and getting that done. I'm in a transition period with the firmware now because I want to get 2.0 done for, well, we have it for the Easy board, but I want to get that updated, but I also want to get baseline for the 8-bit printers. So to get stuff added quickly in terms of 8-bit printers like the i3 Mega, the quickest thing would be to put them into our 119 base firmware. But I also want to get moving on the 2.0. So if you guys want to know what my role here is now, basically the streams are what I'm going to be doing. That's my extent of direct interaction with people. So I'm taking more of a back-end role so I can focus on development and managerial type stuff, and the streams and the video production is going to be my extent of involvement with customers and people. So, but I really enjoy doing these streams, so that's why I'm going to keep doing them. But I am going to be moving more of the casual stuff, like if I'm working on firmware or I'm upgrading a printer. The printer upgrades might be on here, but if I'm doing more of a casual, like I'm just hanging out and BSing type live stream, those will be on my personal channel where everything kind of goes. So if you guys haven't subscribed to my personal channel, go ahead and look up Tim Hoagland on YouTube, or you can go to timothyhoagland.com. That is strictly my personal stuff, so it's literally just me. It's not the company. So, but I will be doing streams and hangouts there where I'll also have other people on. So the kind of stuff where it's more casual, we're just kind of BSing, that's going to be on that channel, not this channel. So this channel is going to be more product videos, reviews, that kind of stuff. So more professional type things. So anyways, all in all, like I said, I think I've said my piece on this. I will be working on firmware with this. I'm going to be collaborating with Scott. And I appreciate Dr. Vax putting up a printer because, like, to be completely honest, I will gladly give Scott my ET4. It's just to pack it up and ship it is a pain in the ass. So if he's already got some, I will pay the full shipping cost to send it to Scott, and then we can all work on it together. So, because I'd really like to get Marlin on these machines, because like I said, the physical build quality of these is not bad at all. I like it. So if I can get the firmware hurdle, if we can get over that firmware hurdle, I think Anet will have a pretty decent machine for the price too. So, I'll post a link in chat for my my personal one here. Let me find it. Let's see here. There we go. Anyways, yeah, I appreciate Anet for sending us this printer to check out. You guys are doing a good job. Keep going. Keep up on the better hardware, the features. Like I said, come on, get us your firmware. Get us your source code. I'll tell you what, if you guys legitimately did your own thing, send it to me. I'll sign an NDA. If you guys don't want me, or other people getting access to your source code, just send me your source code. And I will use it just to get Marlin working. I will not share it with anybody. If you guys are that worried about people finding your source code for your boards, I literally just need something to reference going forward. And I'm sure Scott would also appreciate having a pins file and other stuff to get it actually in, what's the word I'm looking for? To actually get it supported in Marlin. And getting your printer and your board in Marlin is beneficial to your company, because I wouldn't have a single thing to complain about with this machine if I was able to put Marlin on it. There's no complaints from me on the physical side of this machine. It's the software that's limiting right now. So, but I'm determined to get Marlin on here. It's just something I enjoy doing. I love hacking. I love modifying things. So I'm going to, hammer away at it. But that's the only complaint I have about this printer, is the fact that if you do want to get into modifying it, you can't right now. So that's about it. So anyways, I'll talk to you guys later, and I appreciate everybody that stopped by. And as always, happy printing. And I will see you guys on the next stream. Take it easy.